All right, let's get into it. You're here to listen to a man-child complain about video games when he doesn't know how to make a video game. So let's go right into it. Anyway, so I want to talk about the seasonal events and what I would like in the future to see changed with them. Um, I'm gonna go in order from where we're at currently in the year to the last one we'll see. So we'll go in order from Guardian Games now to Solstice to Festival to Dawning. So for Guardian Games, what's going on right now? I would love to see some changes. I'd like to see in the tower. I'm sick of the flags. There's one of two things I'd like to see happen. Either the flags need to completely go and just be changed with a different system that's having relatively live updates to scoring, or with either like an update, like asking for something to be literally live updated. I understand is unrealistic, but something that updates every 5 minutes or 10 or 15 or every half hour or every hour, something like that, to just show an actual score instead of the flags, because too many times, especially at the beginning of the days, you'll see the flags all even immediately and then all change drastically, and they'll stay that way for the whole, what feels like the whole day. Especially if one flag is like way below or way above one of the others, like it'll just stay in that same spot all day. So I'd like to see one of two things change with that. Either the flags just go and they're just being actual count out in a nice display somehow, or keep the flags, have all of them start at the bottom every day, climb up when they hit the top with however many medals banked, scroll back to the bottom, and then have something to show that it's that flag's been raised one full time for that day, and then two, three, four times, however many times it's raised. Because there's nothing worse. Like this year, I had a day where I banked. It was either day 2 or day 3 where the hunter flag was all the way down in the ground, and I banked 100 platinum medals, and the whole time it stayed all the way down in the ground, and it's really depressing. Like I'm not stupid enough to think that I can make the hunters win alone. I'm not dumb enough to think that. But to do all that effort and not see the flag change at all is very demoralizing the whole time I'm doing it. It gives me no motivation to do it following days. Like unless the flags are already super close, I have no want to bank the medals, because I'm not going to be able to see a change and see my efforts done anything about. Out. And something else I'd like to see changed, if we're seeing, going away from the flags now, if we're seeing strike scoring stay, specifically for Guardian games, like if they're not going to stay in the game after this and they're just going to come back next year and be strike scoring again, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with either one. I'm fine with strike scoring being in the game, period, or being just for Guardian games. If they're in Guardian games specifically, though, if we're going to have the playlist for it, right, the score threshold you score should give you that medal. It should not be a silver medal for finishing a plat run. It doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. Having plat medals be on the side that you can buy from Eva, Space Grandma, and earn it by yourself, fine, cool, whatever. Keep them if you want. Keep the laurels if you want. I'm not asking for those to go away. But the medals should be representative. Like, you should be able to earn the other medals in that playlist based off how well you do. At least in my opinion, it's dumb, because the only time that it would, like it, if you do a high score run to get in the top 10% this year specifically, right? You then have no reason to do another Nightfall. Like there's way faster ways to farm plat medals and stuff. So if you get a good score that you know is good and you know is going to keep you in the top 10%, you're not going back there. At the very least, if you get, or you have the chance of getting an extra plat medal for doing the score threshold again while working on one of the cards to get a plat medal, that's 1,000 times better, in my opinion. Like me personally, I've been farming the end of one of the Witch Queen missions that gives me a medal every 5 minutes, because or less. That's because that is just the best way for me to get medals, which I don't want to do. I'd rather run strikes all day. I'd rather be in the other playlist that was just all of the strikes. Just it's the strike playlist, but it has scoring in it, opposed to the competitive / training one. I'd rather be in the casual one, just playing strikes and having fun. But I don't. There's no real reward for that. Anyway, that's all I have on guardian games. All right, moving to Solstice. Uh, I'm fine with having the armors every year. The glowing armor, it's cool. It's awesome. Um, I would like to see the armor be obtained different ways. Like the very first year the very first year is the only year that Solstice has been different where we had to replay the missions from the original campaign, and they were like pretty difficult and all that nonsense, and you had to do other tasks along with them. And then we've had the EAZ for the last however many years, 3 I believe. We've had the EAZ, same every time. All the armor pieces have pretty much the same criteria every year. They just get a little bit easier because of the way the scaling has changed every year. Here, I would like to see them changed somehow. If we're going to keep the armor, we're going to keep the sets. Either give us a new activity that the armor focuses on, or just make the tasks different. Like I don't know. It's hard to say make them different because I understand that they encompass pretty much the whole game, which is kind of their point. You've got playing game, you've got playing Crucible, you've got doing strikes, lost sectors, getting kills with whatever super, generating orbs. I understand that it encompasses all of the casual parts of the game, and I'm saying casual because it doesn't have, outside of masterworking the armor at the end, it doesn't have going into dungeons and raids really. But I'd like to see them different. Maybe just make less things, but make them harder to do. I don't know. It's very boring to see the same challenges every year, and part of that is because we've got the EAZ every year. It's boring. All right, that's all I really have to say about Solstice. I just want to see the armor be changed somehow, because blah. It's just at this point I'm over it. All right, moving to Festival of the Lost. Um, I think the change out of Haunted Forest to the Haunted Sectors was great. I think it was a good change. It was a great change of pace. I think it was fun. I think it was something new to look at and have fun with. Um, my one complaint about it is either make it so that you can kill as many headless as you can, and before the time runs out, or change it so that when you do kill the 10th headless, the timer just instantly ends. And we move on. We just go, because it was very boring last year to just kill everything or kill the 10 headless, have like a minute and a half, 2 minutes left, and then just be sitting around doing absolutely nothing. It is absolutely just either have, I don't care which, I don't care if you want to make it so that you can only kill 10 every time, fine, whatever. If that's how you want to do it and you want to make the pages that way, what, and that limited, whatever, go ahead, you do you. I have literally no problem with that. But one of those two things needs to happen. If you're bringing back the haunted sectors, just one of those things need to happen. It's literally my only problem with Festival. Like, I think the change from Haunted Forest to that was great. I'm okay with having it again next year. Just make it just that small change. I think everything will be fine. And then moving to Dawning, last but not least. I don't even I why? Why have we had the Dawning the last few years? Why? Nothing. There's nothing there. I mean, for God's sakes, at least in D1 we had SRL, which I'm not asking for SRL. I am asking for SRL to be back. I loved SRL, but I'm not actually asking for SRL to be back. You know what I mean? Like I've let go of that dream. I understand it's not going to happen. If it does, I'm gonna be happy, but I don't expect it to happen. But having the cookie stuff every year and pretty much only be the cookie stuff every year, like, give us something, give us some sort of activity. Again, Solstice has the EAZ. Guardian Games has had playlist specific stuff outside of its first year, and before Guardian Games existed, it was Revelry, and Revelry was its own thing in the forest. For Festival, we had the forest all those years, and now we have the haunted sectors. Give Dawning something. Give Dawning something to do besides the cookies, because it is so. I'm just so over it. I'm just so over it. If you want to keep the cookies on the side, fine, whatever. Stop making them the main and only focal point of the event. It is boring beyond belief. Just please. Like, I don't care. Just make something. Make anything. Please. Which brings me to the last point, which is an all-encompassing point. I would love to see that you change the game so that at least every other year, whatever activity we have for each seasonal event is changed. We had the Haunted Forest for 3 years. On the second year, it was like just the same thing again. And then on the third year, it was like, Christ alive, why is this still here? And then we got the switch to the Haunted Forest, or the Haunted sectors. And it's like, all right, great. This is good. I'm okay with doing this. It makes me want to play the event more. The EAZ for Solstice, I'm over it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it even for the parts of the armor that requires doing it. I'm over it. I don't want to be anywhere near it. Please, God, give me something different. Even if you use that same space and do a different style of activity on it, that's fine. I don't care. I'm not asking for literal new stuff, like having Guardian Games have strike scoring this year is fine. I'm fine with it because it's something to do. Again, if it's not staying in the game, if it ends up staying in the game, then I'd like something different next year. But if it's not going to stay in the game year round, have it next year again, and then go to something else. Like, my final point is I do not want to see events keep just having the same thing over and over and over again. Like, I really do not. I would literally rather not have the events than have the same thing over and over again. Like, the third year we had Festival of the Lost, I just didn't play because I didn't care. Like, I didn't want anything to do with it because it might as well not have been there. Like, I just played the game like it was any other day because I didn't want it. And same thing with the AZ. Again, outside of literally having to go into the AZ to finish the armor because all the armor looks nice. It always does. As outside of having to go in for that, I'm not touching the AZ. I don't care. I'm not farming the boxes in there. I don't want nothing to do with that thing because of how long we've seen it. The first year had a blast in it. The second year was like, okay, all right, kind of cool, but I'd like something different. The third, again, you've lost me. 2 years, 2 years, send it out the door. Throw it in whatever dumpster you put Revelry in. Like, get it out. I don't care if something takes its place or not. Just get Crimson, throw it in the dumpster with Crimson doubles. Just get. Anyway, that's all from me. Again, I don't know how to make games. I'm sure everything that especially some of the stuff I've said is not nearly as easy as I've made it sound. And I get that. I do. Even though I don't know why it's hard or how it's hard or time consuming, I'm sure it is. Because I know nothing. And I can't stress that enough. I'm just here to complain. And that's all this series is going to be. It's just me complaining about things I'd like to have changed. I'm not going to just complain for complaining's sake. These are things that I seriously, I would love to see changed. Anyway, that's all. I'm done. I'm done for now. I'm done. I'm done complaining about seasonal things. I'm done.